My work is very, how can you say that? Like, it has a lot of elements in there. A lot of people can get something out of a piece, hopefully. The longer you stay with a piece, the more you kind of symbolically will understand and go like deeper and deeper into it.
Some people in life take the road less traveled. They swim against the current and think outside the box. Our goal is to tell their story and allow them to share their influences, their beliefs, and their creative processes. This is Breaking the Mold.
My name is Annina Roescheisen, and I'm a German multimedia artist living in New York and Brooklyn. My work, even though it was like at the beginning very religious, connotated, a lot of childhood things, I think what really kind of brought all together is this interest that I have in human beings, like how emotions function and how we kind of interact with people. I'm a storyteller. My work is based on emotions and based on human beings. That's what, for me, life is about. I totally appreciate the work of other artists, and I think like the whole art world shouldn't be so much with the elbows. It's nice to collaborate, it's nice to share, and as an artist, for me, like that's one of the most important things, is about sharing. I think art schools are amazing. I didn't do one. I just went through a Master of History of Art, so I'm more like an autodidact. But yeah, I think you just have to be authentic in whatever kind of way. That's the essential of what it should be about. If it goes through a school or through another way, it doesn't matter. I think there has to be more curiosity on young artists, and people are very afraid to support and buy young artists. I think the whole art world has to kind of open up and stop this elitistic thinking. I always had this kind of gypsy Slavic side, and I still do have a lot of family in Slovenia, but I grew up like very Bavarian Heidi style in a little village in the mountains, so I spent a lot of time with myself. I never felt really at home in Germany, even though I like Germany a lot. I just feel like a gypsy, which kind of helps me definitely to sleep wherever, work wherever, because it's very tiring sometimes. A friend of mine, her son tried to commit suicide when he was 11, and that was for me the turning point where I was like, what happened to you that at 11 years old you want to kill yourself? So I started to write a piece about it. I think people read fairy tales because they feel like they can dream themselves away from reality, but still they teach you a lot about reality metaphorically. So it's this kind of shift between reality and dream, between growing up, and there's this still life middle scene which is inspired of Netherlands paintings of the 16th century, and it gets darker and darker, which kind of emphasizes that suicide is a process. I'm not a very technical person, so video art for me is painting in motion. I kind of see a painting in my brain and I kind of translate it afterwards. For the Pietà pieces, I was really inspired, or I always loved Michelangelo's Pietà, so that like this kind of understanding of a mother and her child. So that's what it is if you take it out of the religious context. I still played with the religious connotations, but the teddy bear is Jesus. So the teddy bear becomes like this kind of inner thing. So it's about adulthood, it's about the shift from being a child and growing into an adult. And I really truly think that growing up is as well being very conscious about your childhood and about who you were and what kind of knowledge you want to take with. Whenever I produce a video piece, I have a special music in my ears. So for the La Pietà, for me it was nice to be very silent because it's a very religious topic, and I felt like music would kind of pollute this piece. I think a lot of video artists kind of neglect that music is very important. It should not be just ambient music, it should be really something that kind of creates a dialogue between the image and your ears. me, I feel like nowadays a lot of people feel voiceless. I want to create a platform where people can communicate and can express themselves. So it's an interactive documentary art project. It's called #WhatBringsPeace. It's a project where basically I'm gonna travel for a year and interview different people, known people and unknown people, about the questioning of what brings peace. There's going to be a launch sculpture in the Swiss Alps in February, and I chose Switzerland because it's one of the countries that kind of experienced the longest time of peace. So I'm trying to do a lot of tests how the sculpture is going to look like. I already know how it's going to look like, but I'm not going to reveal it now. The aim for me is to look behind the boundaries of religions, genders, language, wars, environmental fights, etc., and try to understand that we're all in this together and that art should be for everybody, definitely.